Hello, hello, hello. It is 12:30 on a Thursday. So we're together. Good to see you. It's Ounce of Prevention Chat Time, and I am Dr. Stephanie Fine, and here we talk about maintaining your weight loss, because that is the main thing, is maintaining the weight loss. It's one thing to lose it, but maintaining it is the thing. That's the decades-long thing that we have to do. So that's what I like to focus on, and I like to help you with it. And one way to do that is to have you identify which maintenance type you are right now. And you can do that at stephaniefinemd.com. And you go there and you can take the quiz and you can find out. And we have been talking about, there are 4 maintenance types. There is the rebounder, the drifter, the floater, and the manager. And we have been talking about we talked about the rebounder and the drifter, and today is floater day. Yes, it is. And you know what next week's going to be? That's right, manager, but we'll keep that under wraps. So each one has a vulnerability that needs attention. And if that is taken care of, then the maintenance is a breeze. Because, we all have our strengths, and then we have areas that need a little improving. And so each type points out one of the ways that maintenance can be strengthened. And if you do that, you're on your way. So in the Ounce of Prevention that hopefully you got in your inbox today, because you get them on Thursday mornings, and you can sign up for that at stephaniefinemd.com also, we talked about that the main thing for a floater does great. And there's actually degrees of floater. So that, here's the thing. Floaters do wonderfully, and they figure out how to manage the stress of daily life, right? Because if you can manage the stress of daily life, then you can lose your weight and you can keep it off. What can happen for the floater in general is when there's a big deal stressor. I mean a change. And when that happens, if there's not a system in place, all things go to hell. I mean, truly, like you can end up as if nothing happened. And that's where emotional eating's the right term, but it's when there's a really big hit to your status quo. And that's what can happen. So what I wanted to talk today about floater in terms of here, because you can certainly read about it. The Ounce of Prevention is a short thing. It gets you right to the point. You get your information in, done, good. So that's why we have these lives to go a little deeper. And what I wanted to talk about was when I was a floater. Definitely. So what happened is, so I lost my weight, I have to do the math. 12 years ago, started, took me 2 years, got 50 pounds off, and I've kept it off the whole time. Now, I would consider myself a floater so it's almost been 5 years now since my mother passed away. And then it's been 2.5 years since my father passed away. And between those two passing away, I moved. It was a very difficult time. And both my parents had illnesses before they passed away. So there was a lot. And particularly my father was 2.5 years ago. And I had moved, so I was a little further from the hospital. So I was back and forth from the hospital. It was a very, very, very challenging time. Now, as you well know, challenging times will come, and because we're talking about maintenance, for sure something's going to come down the pike. You know what I mean? It's the rest of your life. Something's happening. I mean, I wish only fabulous, amazing things for all of you, but likely, and as I pointed out too, it could be a good thing. Like you could meet the love of your life, and now you're moving to Tahiti. You know what I mean? Like that kind of change can move a floater off her game. But I'll tell you that in my case, it wasn't that I was moving to Tahiti. And in order to cope, I found myself that I was releasing the boundaries, like not eating. I got really good about bringing my salads to the hospital, but then it was a little longer, or the traffic was a little more, I got hungrier than I'd want to be. And then I would just need to decompress in front of the television. I mean, I watched so much television at that point, but it was absolutely a time that was very challenging for me. And I put on a good 10 pounds I'd say over that 5 years. Now, in that 5 years, I was still connected because maintenance is very important to me. So I absolutely could have gone way more than that for sure. And it wasn't 10 pounds the entire 5 years. It was like when my mother passed away, it went up, and then it went down a little bit. And then when I had the difficulty with my father's illness, that was when it was sort of more steadily went up. But it was over a year, so it was like a pound a month kind of thing. But at the end of a year, a pound a month is 12 pounds. I mean, that's how it goes. Now, here's what I want to say about, so for floaters, learning how to deal and cope with that is really important. I'll tell you that I thought that was a very big success. Having lost 50 pounds, gaining 10 of it back in a very difficult time. And then as soon as I could, I took it off. So to me, maintenance is decades. If I've had a 5-year period where there were some ups and downs more significant than I would have liked, and there was these big reasons for it, to me, super success. And I'll tell you why. I was compassionate with myself. I understood what was going on. I stayed connected to my conscious decisions about food. I was very aware when I was making decisions. Very few of them were unconscious. They were conscious decisions to get a cookie. It was a conscious decision to go out to dinner and not have to make it. So I was connected. I saw what was going on. I was getting on the scale, and I understood the issue. And as soon as I was able, without pushing myself and being mean to myself or anything like that, and then it actually sort of came off pretty quickly. And that's what can happen with floaters when they're connected and making conscious decisions. What I don't want to happen for floaters, and what happens very often, is something major happens and that's it. I mean, that's it for years and years. Actually, it could even make a detour forever. And it doesn't have to be that way, because we can be there for each other for this whole time. It's a long time. And that's what is required. Conscious decisions, connectedness, and a plan. So that's floaters. And there's ways to deal with it. And I'm happy to help you with it. And any questions you have, Maintenance University is created just for this exact type of thing. And floaters, we welcome all types. Now, what I was going to say about floaters too, in terms of the severity, is, if it has to be something big to knock you off your game, or if it's smaller can knock you off your game. So that's a more sensitive floater. Usually those people, if it's really sensitive floater, don't actually lose their weight because they just keep having the problem with emotional eating. But as you solve sort of the daily, then you are, able to go a little further. And maybe get to the times when the big ones are the only thing that knock you off your game. That's floaters, my friends. We got rebounders, drifters, and floaters. And next week we'll talk about managers. I love talking to you about this stuff. I welcome all questions, any comments, anything. I am happy to respond. Have a really good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.